Do I hear a motion to adopt the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, those in favor?
Aye.
Do I hear a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda presented.
A second.
Motion made and seconded, those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Let's move on down to correspondence informational items. The first one on there is the Brownsville meeting, which will be April 9th at 6 p.m. at the Commissioner's hearing room. You guys gonna have enough room? If it's anything like our water one, I don't know. Then
It's not
next,
gonna be like your water one.
No, it'll be a handful of people. It's like
Yeah.
economic
Yeah,
housing.
the last one we had, a couple of, or last week, there was three people.
all right, next thing on there is the Rotary. For some reason, I don't have.
Well, you don't have anything on it, I just
Okay.
wanted to talk to you
All
about it.
right, Roberta's got the floor.
It's just the fact that we were selected by the Rotary to receive the Goose Chase ticket, or funds up to $10,000, depending on how much they raise this year. And it'll go towards a good pool cover of this one.
Sweet.
Yeah.
When is their event?
It's definitely wrapped.
It's in June.
It's in June,
So,
so hopefully
July.
mid-May, early June, we've got an idea of how much they've raised, and then we can start
But we need to
getting some bids on what we want to put out there. I mean, we can study now what we want to use as a cover and get maybe 3 different price ranges.
And then there's been a couple people that said they would like to do a fundraiser for that, and I think we could really do one.
And regardless, I think, now that it's getting close to budget time, we just should probably think about, if there's any way we can put some money towards it too. Are we getting closer on the heat exchanger?
Actually, we have the heat exchanger, they have done the improvements on it, and we were looking for a bucket truck to put it in, and we just purchased a bucket truck from Starts Electric for $4,000, and so that will help us get it in there. And so they're going to be putting it in probably in the next couple of weeks.
Good,
Start getting it
cool.
going.
And make sure it's working
Yeah,
and stuff before
yeah.
December.
They're gonna put it in, they say they're.
Well, last year they said they were going to put it in too.
Yeah, you heard this last year, so let's
No, stay on
stay on
it.
top.
You're on the pool.
Yeah, no,
You're
I'm
on
not
the
gonna,
pool. You
tomorrow,
got it.
I'm gonna
You
fall
got
out
it.
tomorrow.
So,
I'm falling out now.
Okay, next on the item is the Lake County Local Public Safety Coordination Meeting. There you have the minutes in your packet here. The next meeting will be April 11th,
I will be there.
at 11:30. Then if you look down, you have a informational on HB 20449, which is on 911 funding.
Has Scott taken a look at this?
He has.
Do you have any comments on
He
it?
has some real concerns about the fact that they're trying to squeeze us little guys out, because it's like a whole different, and maybe I don't know if you've kept up on that 911 funding at all, Sheriff, but we could lose more of our revenues. So,
We've been talking about this for a while.
and I think they want to just make the big dispatch centers just kind of, because it's going to affect the little people.
I have no
So,
knowledge.
okay.
Okay, next on there, you have the HB 2173 and HB 2184 broadband investment bills. So, which this broadband would be a big plus for Lake County, and Lakeview, because we go out through Warner Valley and up north and south. And notice the cleaning of the water tanks, April 1st and Thursday, April 4th.
So everybody knows not to wash white clothes. So, yeah.
Or your hair.
Is this a yearly or is it, I thought we were
They
saying
wash-
every other year?
They have been doing the tanks once a year, but we do the lines 4 times a year.
Mhm.
So, and when they did this last week, they didn't tell us specific dates. And, you know, they got a lot of ground, and that, he said was very rare for it to be so bad, so I don't know.
Is it, divers that are hiring to do that?
No, they
It's our
drain them
guys,
and our
they
guys
drain
do
them
it.
and our guys do it, so.
Yep. Yep.
It's too bad it's not, not everybody goes for a spring break, but a lot of people leave the community for spring break, it's too bad if it's not on that same.
I don't think that's
So it might be
okay.
something next year we consider, if it's about the same time every year, maybe if they got enough guys who can do it during spring break, then we could do it.
And I don't know if it was, I don't think it was last year, I think it was the year before, when they cleaned the tank, they put in new recirculating pumps. So,
So
And-
Jeff and his guys will be doing the cleaning.
Yes. We would have done it this week, but we didn't have time then to get it back in the newspaper to make sure
Yeah,
that
I
it was
hear you.
notified,
So,
so that we get some hits on that, so.
okay, now we'll go into old business liaison appointments, we'll table that till next time. All right, under new business, ratifying the Lake County Sheriff's law enforcement contract. I see Ann is here, and anybody have any questions on the budget on that? It was something you guys
Yeah.
mentioned.
My disorganization.
I thought we reverted the email to ask her, didn't you? On the budget.
It was the interfunds,
Interfund,
PR and GF administration fees.
what all that covers for administration.
So ours, administration fees are our indirect cost allocations. So those are for items that we can't individually bill funds or departments. One of the big ones is our IT. So that's a general contract for servicing and maintaining all of the county's IT equipment, including servers, emails, connections to 911, all of those things. The other thing that administration fee covers is accounts payable and payroll time, some liabilities included there as well, general office supplies, so paper, pens, envelopes, things like that. So it's I think you guys might do something similar, it's our indirect cost allocation charges that go out. So when the sheriff and Paul worked on these numbers, it was hard for them to really get down into those true numbers, and so it finally came up in budget discussions and trying to show this. It's hard for us, again, to show a direct cost for some of these things, so we just put it that way.
So then, just a question, so we have computer maintenance, and then copier fax maintenance.
So they do have some of their own computer, they call it, they have software fees that they pay on their own for their own specific things. They do have some computer maintenance on the, I don't know if it's your rough books that are in your vehicles or not. Paul would be able to answer that specific question on that line item. The copier fax maintenance, our IT actually doesn't cover copier contracts yet. We're working towards that, but right now there's a lot of different contracts for copiers. So if they're assigned to individual departments, those departments pay those copier contracts.
Our fee, the sheriff's office fee right now specifically for IT services is close to $50,000. so to give you an idea what we're paying for IT costs. And this administrative fee here is, IT costs are included in that.
Do you guys have the MTDs or MDTs?
MDTs, yes, we do.
In the vehicles?
Yep.
And you know what brand? I'm sure you do. I know we have 7 of them that were donated to us, and I don't know if there's something you guys can use or not.
We'll take a look at them, but what we need is the same operating system, and the ones that you may have may not have the same operating
Right,
system that
right.
we have. And that's one thing I ensured with Josh prior to even considering buying new MDTs for the 3 new officers, is that it contains the same operating system, so we're on the same sheet of music. We'll certainly look at those, and if they are, we can certainly use them.
And I just thought of something, and I don't know if you thought about it, but we pay about $10,000 a year for emergency information systems. And that has in the past come out of the police budget. Is that something that you pay separate, or have you guys? That might be something we need to talk about, just to make sure, because they use it between dispatch and police over there, but it's always been out of our police budget.
Is that dispatch costs? Is that what we're talking about? Okay.
I don't, that doesn't ring a bell to me. I'm not sure,
I just now thought of that. I
if we
just
have
thought,
that
oh my
service or
gosh,
not.
we've got to make sure that, whoever, that it gets paid, if we still get it.
Okay.
So, I'll just follow up. Is that kind of scary? That's $10,000.
You know, this budget that we've laid out is kind of a trial, going to be a trial and error period for probably a year. And I think after we get a full year under our belt, we'll really know unless we add a new deputy. If we go 6 months with 3 deputies, and then if the town decides to add a new deputy, and then we go 4 deputies, it's going to probably take another year until we can kind of pinpoint what our realistic and perspective of these costs are going to be. So I think it's kind of a hit and miss right now. We've kind of put into place what we think is going to work, and I would say it's going to be high. I would rather be high than low and have to add, so we can certainly take away and turn it over for the next year. But I think we're going to need a year before we can pretty much say we're going to need this much money in this line item, this much money in this line item. But the one thing I can say is the equipment costs are going to drop off substantially. I think realistically, I mean, we broke this down to the best of our ability. And I think what we're looking at is pretty close to $14,000. And I think we originally said we're looking at $26,000 or $25,000 per deputy. And then when we broke everything down to what the cost is today, we're looking at pretty close to just $14,000. So.
Well, I will follow up on that EIS just to make sure that we don't drop that stuff.
There's going to be hidden costs in there somewhere that we haven't thought about. We didn't think about this, so okay, we're going to have that. And it's nice to have just a little fund that money that is not being actually dedicated to this line item. So if we need it, we can use it.
Council, have any more questions? Okay. Let's move on to resolution 954. Ratifying the Lake County Sheriff's Office law enforcement contract. Whereas ORS chapters 190, 203, and 206 authorizes the town to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Lake County Commissioners and Sheriff for the purpose of providing municipal law enforcement services to the town, and whereas the town does not have the ability to provide law enforcement services for the town, and whereas the town and the county believe that it is in their mutual interest to enter into an intergovernmental agreement setting out their understanding concerning the sheriff's rendering of law enforcement services of sheriff to the town, and therefore specifically agreed to the terms and conditions in the intergovernmental agreement dated March 19, 2019, and whereas Lake County Commissioners and Sheriff approved the intergovernmental agreement on Tuesday, March 19, 2019, now therefore be it resolved that the town council in the town of Lakeview, Oregon as follows. One, the town of Lakeview, Lake County. The town of Lakeview Town Council hereby ratify the intergovernmental agreement between the Lake County Board of Commissioners and Sheriff for law enforcement services dated March 19, 2019. Do I hear a motion?
I move we ratify resolution number 954, enforcement environmental agreement for law enforcement services between Lake County and the Sheriff Town of Lakeview.
And second?
Motion's made and second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay?
Just to finalize the county's part, we'll have a supplemental budget hearing on April 3rd and then incorporate that in our budget, and then they'll have the authority to expend from that date. So the timing, it all fell into place good. April 3rd, yes.
Okay. Next on the suicide awareness walk run, Chairman Shannon Johnson and Rich Gray could be here, scheduled for May 19th at 3 p.m. Suicide awareness prevention walk will take place in Lakeview upon approval. The route has been approved by ODOT and was deemed that there is no permit necessary to create this event. We plan to start at Napa parking, which has been approved by Napa, and to go approximately 4-mile route that will bring us back to the initial point. This event will not be timed. Also, we plan on splitting the group of participants in half so as not to have a large clump of people in any particular area at one time. There are local businesses participating on the route. We have signed up to sponsor tables with an assortment of literature, swag, and light for walkers. Businesses and organizations include not limited to are A Country Home Floral Bloomers, Ladybug Creations, Snack Shack, VFW 4070, PJ's Family Fun Center, Pardue Construction, OSU Extension Office, LCP Alger, Amerititle, and Lakeview Public Health. We're waiting for a few more to officially come on board. Organizers of this event are Shannon Hogue Johnson and Christy Gray. Has the Sheriff's Department been notified on this?
Yes, sir. We've been
Okay.
given a informational email by Counselor Nikki Taylor. And then
Okay.
Dawn, I talked to Dawn earlier today, she's gonna send me more information tomorrow.
Okay,
And can I make one statement?
yeah,
It's not a run, it's only a walk. So we gotta make sure that it's in the paper or whatever, as a walk, not run.
oh, yeah. All right, well, do I hear a motion on this?
I get that.
We
What?
approve?
It's a walk only,
Yeah,
not
I
a
would
run.
motion
Okay.
to approve the suicide awareness walk as presented.
I'll second.
Motion made, second, those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Next on the list is budget officer and committee member appointments. As council knows, all of us are on the budget committee. We just need 5 members from the public. Do we still have any,
Yeah, you got to vote.
so how many openings do we have?
Well,
Three, right?
yes, so far 3. I
3?
haven't heard back from one.
Okay,
Did you hear?
So it's,
No, Charlie.
Charlie said yes.
And I'm waiting for
Jim never called back, so.
so
We need 3.
are we still advertising for that then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, it's on our website, and it's in the paper. So, and want to put it on the news too, we need that.
This is the second time. Well, I ran it for 2 weeks and then,
So are we gonna table this then? Or do we want to at least make the budget officer appointment and then wait on the full 5 later? Or just appoint the 2 that we know for sure already and then?
We can get on the committee
We
and,
can
As
wait.
budget officer, that's
I'd
your
like to,
assigned role, so.
yeah.
yeah.
Since we're gonna table the committee member appointments, I'll make a motion to appoint Roberta Vanderwall as our budget officer.
I'll second.
motion made in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Let's see, okay, now on your list, you've got a request for additional funding for Red Rock Water Sewer Extension. The information's here.
Basically, it's information, I want to keep you informed on everything that's going on with that. So I want to make sure that's included in your packets so you know. It sounds like we'll be able to get the additional funding, but they're going to be, one of the things that's probably more concerned right now is the discharge from Red Rock. You know, we don't have capacity in the lagoons to hold it, so do we build a new lagoon? You know, with their, you know, so there's some things that are really,
So how close, go ahead.
Has Red Rock come up with any?
not yet.
Any
Contingency
offer of
Not as of
funding for
today.
those, for their discharge?
Right, and I know that Daryl was supposed to talk to me this morning, he was supposed to get back with me, but he hadn't as of 3, but, you know, because there's a couple options, you know, build another lagoon, you know, and that's a lot of money, a lot of time. And then there's a thought about taking our effluent water that's in the lagoons now and shipping them back to use it for their system. So I'm not sure where we are as far as actual getting very far on it. But we have to hurry up and get something done, or they do, so.
Who's the contact on that for Red Rock?
Mary Dent.
Because I'm meeting with somebody on Saturday from Red Rock regarding some housing issues.
Okay.
He's flying in from Fort Collins
What's his name?
Friday. His name's Pedro. I can't remember his last name, but I have a meeting with him at 10 o'clock and he said plan on about 2 to 3 hours.
Wow.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Well, I know
On
there's.
Saturday?
He's flying in on Friday. He's got some meetings Friday afternoon and he wanted to know if I could do it on Saturday.
I know they're still working on some stuff at the man camp. I don't know, you know, how far we're getting, but we're still working on it.
Wasn't there some power issues there?
I think there still are, there's a lot, they tore that out.
So,
I thought they did.
Scott, have you been up to talk to Ken,
Ken?
Cooper, our building official?
Not really.
So go up and talk to him before Saturday, just pick his brain.
Because the person I'm meeting with is mainly on housing issues.
Right, but that's, you know,
He's told me that they've lost 2 managers for that plant because they can't find a place to rent or buy.
Well, and we were told on Wednesday at that meeting that there's a couple Forest Service people, they are GS9s, you know, they have pretty decent incomes and they can't find housing.
They can't, I manage over 80 rentals.
Right.
We're full. I have a pretty lengthy list right now, waiting list right now.
I think that we're in a critical need. I mean, I really do.
We are.
I have an owner that wants to build a 20-unit apartment complex like that.
So where's he at?
He's in Colbert.
So when's the doctors?
He's trying to figure out, and I actually talked to a gal from Gobi,
Oh,
to her about some state and federal funding, if there would be anything available, she's gonna look into it.
good.
But he would be interested, and I think he's got an idea of a spot, he's gonna be back here in a month.
Would it be in the town limit?
Yep.
Good.
I think what he's looking at is something over close to the hospital,
Uh-huh.
so
That'd be awesome.
he would love to build a 20-unit complex here.
On the other side of the street. South end.
I think so, I'm not 100%
The
sure.
south side of it.
And he's a young kid
Well, there's not much left on it.
with a lot of ambition.
Well, we need housing, so. you know.
We'll have that fourplex done in the south end of town probably by the end of May.
Really?
That's been a project, yeah. It's been a job.
The people that are moving here now, house, that's the problem. I mean, if they have big family or small family.
Very private house is under $200,000 in this town for sale.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? In public comment? Hearing none? Okay, we'll adjourn the meeting at 4:35. About that.